Welcome to Main Street Minds with your host, Amish Munshi. This is where industry leaders and seasoned pros share their secrets to success beyond limits. Let's dive in.
Hello and welcome to Main Street Minds. Today we have a very special guest, Datta, over here with us. He is extremely talented and ensures that we actually have good health and a good experience having a good health, right? Like that's things don't get any more important than that. So without any further delay, I'll just open up the floor. Datta, share your secrets. Tell us how you got started in technology and what's motivating you to do it.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Datta Snehith. I have around 14 years of experience in IT, especially in the software quality assurance side of with the QA automation as my primary skill set. And I worked with various clients, especially from all the way from banking, finance, healthcare, and back end of the healthcare on different platforms, and also entertainment sector. So I had like wide experience with working with the ETL tools, automation tools, and also with the different domains as well. I had been like working in this field, but initially when I started, I was feeling like I'm doing simple testing. Like, does that have any impact on the users? Like, I feel like it's like just one of the other things which we do just to survive. But later, when I used to know about the product and understand like how it really changes users day-to-day things, then I really started to like this role and also think on the perspective of the users. And then like I come up with scenarios which is like, let's say there is one type of user which I keep trying to test the whole functionality. There is some other types which I never even thought of, like when I discuss with the people, when I talk with them, when I see the production issues what are coming up, then I came to understand like, okay, hey, the scope which I need to be in automating is like wider than what I think. And then I really started getting involved in all the discussions with the product business, and then I came to know more about the product and how that really impacts the users. I just wanted to give a simple example. Recently we did a small change where the button has been shrunken to very small because it's a bug, it's not intended change. And in automation it's like it doesn't matter, right? Like if there is a button, it goes ahead, clicks it and continue. But especially the users which we deal with are like elderly and don't have much understanding of the technology, so the way they take the things is like totally different than what everyone will be taking. So then we understand like, okay, hey, the changes may be minimal, but the impacts are going to be like huge because people started calling the customer care telling that they don't see like the food logging functionality, but that is there in the screen itself. So we had a hot fix for it, and then we started the developers started implementing the feature flags as a QA. Like I not only test the changes, I also test like if the feature flag is turned back on, then how everything is going back properly or not. So this is one of the simple example I wanted to share. And this is like about me. Like I'm mostly working on the QA automation side with a lot of things like a screen resolution, starting from screen resolution all the way to the button width. Everything I do the automation on that.
Yeah, that is really amazing, right? Many times on a day-to-day basis, when we are working on something, we feel like this is basic, this should just happen and work, right? But the importance of the QA and the quality checks are like just so crucial. If we take that away, the experience of the user is going to be like, I just wish this app wasn't even there. If it works sometimes and it doesn't work sometimes, if it works under specific loads or it doesn't work under specific loads, then the whole experience of the user is like it many times they might be like, I just wish this app wasn't even there if it doesn't work.
Especially we keep hearing that term like it works in my machine.
Oh yeah.
From
Yeah, and there are
yeah.
scenarios, right? Like weirdest of the stuff happens. Like there was a app that I use all the time, everywhere. Yesterday, I was in a very low network area, and I was like trying to make it work. It kind of was working, but if we don't think of all these random scenarios in reality that end up happening, it's just crazy. Like the when the person wants to use it if it's not working.
Yes,
So
that's
tell us more
definitely
about
yes.
how you got interested in tech. Like, did you have family that anyone else in the family that was doing tech, or more of your friends?
It's a mixture, I would say. Like initially, I mean, during my time, everyone was like telling me to go to ECE because that's like the future. You will have computer knowledge and you will have electronics background. I was like, I know I'm more interested towards computer. Why should I go to ECE? Like, if I know I'm good at it, because writing coding, thinking on the flow charts, these are some of the things which fascinate me, and I like how it ends up into the reality. So I was more interested towards that. So after my college, like I decided like I need to go to computer science, and I ended up in computer science. Really liked the program, and it gave me like a lot of insight on how the lowest level of computer works to all the way like how coding has been changed and processed by the computer.
Yeah,
So that really makes total sense if you think at the end user. I mean, like when I turn on the computer, I know like what's happening behind it. So that way, like, okay, if there is an issue, I at least know like, okay, this is where it is getting stuck. Not that, okay, I don't know what's happening, I turned on, it's not off. It's That's not different.
yeah.
And then the interest came like when I was in the childhood. One of my cousin used to work for British Airways. I was like, I was thinking like, okay, let me give you this example. It's very interesting. I was thinking, okay, I developed the software, it's done, right? There is no changes needed for it. I was having this curiosity always, like, why do people keep working on the things which is like a one time thing? And then I realized like, okay, it's not like one time thing. Requirements keep coming in,
Yeah.
new type of functionalities coming in. People used to explain me, but I was not able to grasp things at that moment, at that time. But when I entered into the industry, that's when I understand, okay, there is a lot more than what I thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was that aha moment? Like, when did that happen? Like, when you say you started in the industry, like, was it at the first job or over the years?
I would say it's over the years. Like initially when I joined, it's Chase was using like a very old, outdated BPT systems at that time for automation, and it's very expensive. Not everyone has access to it, and I was like requesting to get access. Like every time people say like, okay, no, it costs us this many dollars low, so I'm not approving it for you,
Yeah.
and because I was at like very I mean, early stages in my career, so I was not able to demand more. And then it came moment like, okay, I came to know about these open source tools. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, if it is open source, then why do people still use it? Still used to pay that BPT
Yeah.
licensing fees and everything. Then I started slowly develop. I mean, I get the approvals first of all with the IT team, and I see like, okay, these things can be installed on my machine, and I automated couple of scenarios locally in my machine. That's when I presented to the client and everyone. They are like super excited about it, and I led to the migration of the whole BPT from BPT to Selenium in my project. So
Yeah.
that's when I was like, yes, at least I can do some things which really saves money and time to the clients. And that's when I was like super excited, and I was like, yes, I can do that.
Yeah, that is really it. The sense of achievement is pretty big, right? Like when we actually think about something and making a transformation in the world, it's just crazy how like the easiest of the things that make the most sense, just the amount of effort it takes to make the change is also like always fascinates me. Like yeah,
Yes.
electric cars are all good. Why do it's been here for what 10, 12 years? Why don't we have a charging port in every parking spot? Just give
Yes.
me a normal 110-volt charging spot in every parking
Yeah,
lot.
at least.
That's it. That's enough for most of the time. So, but making the change is just crazy.
Yes, exactly. I definitely understand that.
So, tell us more about your journey. Like, you have a wide experience working across multiple industries, right? Like, you said banking and healthcare and many others. So, uh, how does somebody get experience across multiple verticals?
So I mean, the biggest change we need to be thinking as a QA perspective, at least what I can say is trying to be in the customer shoes is something which is totally different, and that changes a lot. When I used to work for Chase, the users which uses the product is the bankers. So even if there is a small change to the UI, it's not a big thing for us.
Yeah.
And when I come to healthcare, the users are like totally different type of users, and changing the, I mean, as I earlier said, like changing small button is like a very big thing for the
Mhm.
users. So uh, I mean, trying to get to the user's perspective is something which I definitely will recommend for anyone who wanted to be in a QA.
Mhm.
And in the entertainment sector, I mean, I work for Xperi, which is which acquired TiVo recently. I was a part of that TiVo. So, I mean, whenever we search for any uh, text or button, sorry, any alphabet, it searches through all the history what I watched and
Yeah.
give me the results. So, as a user perspective, I may feel like, okay, yeah, it's good to have, but it has like a wide logic behind it.
Hmm.
So, uh, anytime you want to write any scenario, just think like, okay, if I was in the user, like I really care about this.
Yeah.
If it is a button change, I, as a banker, I don't care. As long as I'm able to see the flow going through
Hmm.
quickly and help the customer like at a shorter amount of time, that is the main goal of that user.
Hmm.
So, as a healthcare domain, I mean, like if it is a, I mean, there are some platforms which I worked on, which is like approving and cancel, I mean, auto approving the pre-authorizations.
Hmm.
So the users which uses that platform is the customer care representatives while they are in the call with the people or maybe with the uh, hospitals. So
Yeah.
they fill out this form. So even then, the quick, I mean, response times is much important than like what is displayed on the screens.
Yeah.
So definitely, I would say not every project is same. Based on the project, I would definitely recommend keep putting yourself in the shoes of the users and
Mhm.
then thinking like what is the importance of this
Yeah.
and how does that impact their use their use cases in day-to-day basis. If
Yeah.
that is something like YouTube is opening, shorts are not working, that's a big thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not like there is small ad which is not popping up. It impacts the revenue, but it's not like the end user perspective. They're like totally fine with it.
Yeah, and then finally, it's always about the user, right? If the user is having a good experience, they are going to use it. If it's going to cost more or cost less or whatever it is, if their need is being fulfilled, then they will actually use it.
Yeah. Happy customer is always good for
Most
us.
most Yeah, yeah. So tell us more about like how did you like manage to transition to such a senior role where like you have to manage the team, take care of the clients, like uh what is involved on a day-to-day basis for a lead?
Sure. Basically, I currently work for three projects
Mm-hmm.
all with Teledoc only. So one of the project is like I work on the devices side, the other one is on the backend side, and the other one is on the mobile and the web part. So it's like the whole project. If you take it as a, sorry, Amish.
Variety of things.
Yeah, it's on the same platform, but it's on like a different interfaces for everything. For the device side, we work with the China team,
Mm-hmm.
who are the manufacturers for us, and it's like getting the requirements and explaining in such a way that it understands first the QA and the dev is like the biggest challenge for anyone, and once we have the requirements, definitely on day-to-day basis, like we need to be track of those requirements if there is any change to it or if there is anything which we are planning to move out of scope,
Mm-hmm.
and those kind of things we need to be keep track of it. And at the same time, i I mean, on day to day I majorly work with I mean, setting up the uh, expectations to the offshore, like what is the priorities for the day and what things needs to be done, because we have releases happening like every 2 weeks, and we have things going out every 2 weeks. So we need to make sure we are not blocking the releases, at the same time we are not breaking it as well. So we need to make sure like the timelines are met. First thing, the other thing is there will be like meetings with the business, with the product teams, with the manufacturers. So
Mm-hmm.
we need to make sure like everyone is in line with what we are releasing
Yeah.
and what the user is going to get the changes.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes we have this feature functionality where we turn it off. So the code is in production, but just that we did not turn it on because of the timelines or maybe other dependencies. So we just need to make sure like if you're turning on, everything relevant to this is has been like moved to production already, without like small pieces. It's like showcases as a broken piece to the users.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. And what does it mean to be kind of working across the geographies? Like, do you have to work long hours? Do you get some time in the middle of the day to do something of your own, or how does it work?
So it depends on the day, basically. Sometimes it is, I mean, work will be like very minimum when you think on it, but you need to make sure like everyone is up to date on what things we are doing.
Mm-hmm.
And actual change may be minimal, and impact is like very huge. So we need to
Yeah.
make sure if the automation is updating properly with the changes, and let's say developer changed something which they did not communicate to QA.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be like this pipeline is going to fail because there is a change to the functionality and QA is not aware of it. So
Yeah.
it takes time to understand like why it is failing and where it is failing and then fix it. So that's why always I keep track of the tickets, stories, whatever the development is working on, and making sure like everyone is up to date. And like let's say sometime like a developer pushes the change like very late in the day. Let's
Yeah.
say as an onshore or someone from onshore like missed it, and offshore just validated the changes and did not update the automation.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like kind of an little bit of a hectic, I would say. So rather than actual change, like there are like a lot of things involved around it, which needs to be handled at the same time with every story. And also as an onshore lead, I make sure like everyone is in sync, first thing, because the requirements keep changing based on the priorities.
Yeah.
We had a recent requirement which came in at October 10th, I think, very recently, like last week. And the client commitment is on January 1st for us. Was
Mm-hmm.
like, that's not even possible to do the change
Yeah.
at this moment.
Yeah.
So we need to gear up sometimes when it is, I mean, we cannot say like no to the clients because they are like the biggest revenue generators for us.
Yeah.
So sometimes it happens like working late hours for connecting with the offshore, connecting with making sure like days will be like super busy with the meetings, and all the work needs to be done really starts in the evening for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Makes sense. Yeah.
definitely.
It's always very interesting, right? Like being able to juggle everything that's involved and getting it done. So just taking a step back, looking at 5 and 10 years from now, like where do you see yourself? What are some of your passions? Where do you see yourself? What are you looking to do?
Um, Probably I'm like planning to continue in this field only. I have no plans on switching the things at this moment.
Yeah.
And especially within 5 to 10 years, I really wanted to incorporate AI into the automation. I started working on understanding like how I can incorporate some of the AI into the automation. Like let's say developer did some changes, instead
Hmm.
of QA going and performing the changes, I'm
Hmm.
trying to see like if there is any scope I can include. Okay, this is going to change the button size, or maybe like maybe it's a button changing to hyperlink. I mean, this is the code changes which is
Yeah.
recommended for this change. So that way it is like really easy to click on accept those changes and we are good to go. There is no much work from the QA side. So I'm
Yeah.
trying to see those options, whichever for us, and trying out few. I mean, recently, hopefully one day I will be there, like where I can totally include everything. Like let's say developer did the change, which will automatically change what needed for the automation side. That way, it would be like much easier for us to
Yeah.
work on and make the things quicker as well. Like I would say, instead of like, I mean, I in the previous example, what I said, like when the client says like, okay, we need some new functionality for this day, we are like, we know we can able to achieve it because we are able to deliver the things quicker.
Yeah, yeah. Like I wish AI could like just read the requirements document, read the code, and observe the current the
Applications.
QA automation, and then maybe just recommend things. Okay, these are the things to be changed, and then
Yes.
somebody like
Yep.
manually verifies it, saying, yeah, okay, this what it's saying is does make sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah. So are you still currently using Selenium?
Mostly Selenium for identifying the elements,
Mm-hmm.
but we use like a different tech stack for different platforms like Appium for the mobile automation,
Sure.
and we use a Cucumber and other tools to just write complete the automation, and we
Yeah.
integrate with the CI/CD pipeline, and then we have like whenever there is a deployment, automatically QA. I mean like PGT we call it, like playground testing. So it does like the quick check on all the functionalities, not going through every single one of them, but at least at a high level. So once the deployment happens, like at least we know the application is not broken or
Yeah.
working fine. It's not
Yeah.
blocking the other teams. And then we have the complete regression suite which runs overnight. And in the morning we check like, okay, if there is any failures
Mm-hmm.
whenever there is a new deployment happens.
Yeah.
Sometimes it happens that the code breaks and then QA, like we say like, okay, we are totally blocked for the whole day.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the some of the areas which I wanted to improve. So if there is any deployment failure, like I wanted to revert it to the previous commits.
Mm-hmm.
So there is like at least we have this uh, application which we can still keep on working until there is a fix developer for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. So, uh, just curious, like, what, in terms of, you did mention you want to like focus more on improving the way QA is done, right? Like, and integrate it with AI and like improve on it. Is AI the biggest trend that you're seeing right now, or what else is happening in the QA space in addition to AI?
Yeah, so there are like new competition coming to Selenium always. Like I don't know like how long it will sustain. Like I think Playwright recently I heard is like more faster, easy to integrate and everything. So I need to look into that. Like I heard about it recently. Probably I will try to explore and see if that's a very a good alternate for Selenium. Maybe I will try it out in my local to see what's the difference. Like if it is very minute, it doesn't make sense to completely rewrite the whole automation in the Playwright and then try to include like say time saving of like 5 to 10 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
which is not like a big thing because we spent like over so many hours in writing this automation test cases.
Yeah.
So that these are the areas like I would say maybe I will try in my local first. Generally, it's like in
Yeah.
random websites. I try it out and
Yeah.
see the difference, and also I will try to use AI to migrate from Selenium to Playwright if that's
Yeah.
possible. That way, like we are not spending hours and hours developing the new framework, rather we are just migrating with the click of a button, something
Yeah, and it's important, like the whole user experiences. I think that
like
aspect is very intriguing to me. Seeing AI thinks about the way majority of the people think, right? Uh, Maybe there are some edge cases that may or may not be addressed. So
that.
yeah, I
Yes,
think that's always the balancing act, which is part of any QA's job, right? Saying
yes.
how important is the edge case, right? There's always an argument going back with the development team saying, hey, there is 5% of my user population that uses this.
Yeah. But we also need to consider from their perspective. I definitely agree with you what you said. Like edge cases are like something which depends on the user, right? So if there is something like, let's say you search ampersand in YouTube search and it breaks the YouTube app, it's not like a major thing because no user like intentionally goes there and searches ampersand at the same time to break the app.
Yeah.
So, and even if that is thing, like if the YouTube users, they can know like, okay, maybe ampersand is not working, let's try a different approach or maybe skip that part
Yeah.
completely. If
Yeah.
that is something like elderly patient who wants to log the food after following like 10 steps, at 11th step if it's breaking, it takes up like almost half an hour to 1 hour of their time, which is like I'm not sure like if they're going to retry that option also.
Yeah.
So based on the user, like edge cases are sometimes important, sometimes are like okay kind of
I
thing.
know. Yeah, like that. Interestingly, that's the exact scenario that I was selecting certain files to upload. Like I was like reviewing the files. I selected like 10 files out of like 100 files that I
Mhm.
wanted to upload. And after I clicked accept, the file had an ampersand in it. Interesting coincidence that you mentioned about it. This just happened like 10 minutes before our call.
Okay.
After this call, I have
Yeah,
to go back, select the right files, rename it, and put it back.
got it.
So yeah, just the use cases, right? It's like real world
Yes.
scenarios are it's just so important. Like the things I would be done with one task and I'm not done with one task. Yeah. So yeah, just as we come closer to the end of this episode, are there any other pieces of recommendations you did mention about you like to kind of help other people, mentor other people, right? Like what are some of the things you do in that, and what are some of your recommendations to somebody coming in this field?
So first thing is don't stick to any of the technologies. Like let's say I know Selenium today, I cannot say like I'm good at Selenium, I don't want to learn anything. Change is inevitable. Definitely we need to keep upgrading ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And at least even if you're not excel at one of any of the new things, at least try to understand what it performs and how that's going to be like different from the current one which you're using.
Mm-hmm.
uh, when it comes to the baseline, the programming is same for everything.
Yeah.
How you garnish it with the syntaxes is something different. So
Mm-hmm.
the main logic behind any programming language will be the same. So i anyone like try to understand, for anyone like at least if we try to understand like what it explains, 80 to 90% of the things will be like I mean, we can work on most of the things unless it's some kind of an client, sorry, CLIs, where it is like specific syntax. It needs to be that only. We cannot change that. But in
Yeah.
programming, it's not that like you need to stick to one logic. You can write it any way you want. Like you can
Yeah.
take this and move there, or you can grab that and put it here. So
Yeah.
it's totally, it's like your open option, like whatever you want to choose it, but at the same time it's not like totally different or something which you cannot learn. It is like, it's, I mean, like if you think on any of the scenario, try to break it down into very minimum things. Like let's say I have a call today, okay, first thing I need to open my laptop, turn on my camera. So if you break down things like that, that is the programming, that's it.
Yeah.
Nothing more than that.
Yeah, yeah, that's a very valuable piece of insight. So anybody that's kind of coming into the field, I think it's important to specialize. It's important to have a core skill set, but don't like it's not you're not uh, only dependent on that, right? Like always be
Yes.
open to learning more. Look what's happening in the industry, what others are doing. Network with more people to learn like new things, and just like watching this podcast, I'm sure like the viewer ended up learning about three or four new things that are coming up.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, so as we conclude this episode, anything else that you would like to share with the audience?
uh, No, man, Amish, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity and also like trying to explain like some of the things. I know there will be like a lot more people can learn, but I'm like at least adding 1 or 2% is like that's
Yeah,
more than enough.
learning is always incremental, right?
Yeah.
It's rarely transformational. Like just by doing one thing doesn't very rarely changes everything. So
Yes.
slow, consistent improvements and incremental upgrades is the best way to lead a life.
Yes.
Yeah, sounds great. Thanks. Thanks, Datta.
Thank you, Amish.
Thank you.
That's a wrap on today's episode of Main Street Minds. Want to share your journey with our audience? Head over to mainstreetmindspodcast.com/guest to apply.